Honesty, passion, experience. It's Timberwolves Explosion hosted on the Paladino Live Network. And now, your host, Paladino Joey. Hello again, Timberwolves fans. Are you ready for the explosion of Timberwolves basketball? I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Timberwolves Explosion is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You get the idea. It's a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today. So, thank you very much. The sun is shining again, which is great, and the sun is shining with the Timberwolves as well. Other topics, we'll just leave those for other shows. Otherwise, very very nice Friday morning. Timberwolves have won 4 in a row, and you're feeling a little bit better, aren't we? So, it's nice. The Timberwolves are 4-0 in 2026. Yeah, we're in 2026. Still no flying cars. 11 years late. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. Yes, reference to Back to the Future. 2015, not 2015. That's what they called it. There were flying cars and everything, and you just put a jacket on and it would fit, or whatever, shoes would fit. That'd be nice, but I don't know. Maybe we're not that far away with all this creepy AI stuff. It's interesting, but I'm a little bit creeped out by AI. Just a little bit. Looks like 4 games to review, 3 games to preview. I'll try not to babble too much, as obviously time constraints for personal reasons, not anything else, just the way life is. But a wonderful start to 2026. Quick conversation about the standings, really quick, because I think it's kind of important. Looked like just like a couple of days ago, the Wolves were pretty much like kind of on the outside looking in. Yeah, we were still, being the Timberwolves, we're still kind of hanging around the 6th seed. So the Timberwolves were still in the 6th seed and everything, like not quite in the play-in. Remember, we talked about that in the last episode. It's like, okay, I guess we're not there yet. Well, now the Timberwolves are what would be a game and a half behind the San Antonio Spurs. A game and a half, who are the number 2 seed in the Western Conference.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, really, it's true. Yep, a game and a half behind the Spurs. So I know, don't get it's like don't get your hopes too high just yet. But let's find out. Timberwolves will be playing the Spurs twice in the next week or so here. So we'll be previewing the first game. It'll be in Target Center on Sunday evening, not afternoon, evening. And we'll have a pretty good idea who's moving on to the divisional round of the NFL. Except for the Monday night game. That's the one thing. It's cool to have Monday night wildcard football, but at the same time, when you're doing a podcast called Purple Mafia and you'd like to record it on Sunday nights, come on. That's the one thing I don't like about Super Wildcard Weekend. That's the one thing. I don't squeeze another one on Saturday or something. I don't know. Or Sunday. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. It's called Super Wildcard Weekend because there's that extra game because of the 7th seed type of thing. But, and eliminating the bye for the number 2 seed. So the Timberwolves played Miami twice. Nice. Washington, absolute trouncing. Cleveland was a little bit tougher, but the Wolves ended up finishing strong there. Timberwolves will be playing Cleveland tomorrow on Amazon. So get your Amazon Prime app rolling, whether mobile device or smart TV or whatever. We'll be talking about that eventually. But yes, that's a nooner, so it'll be interesting in Cleveland. And then San Antonio Sunday, like I said, and Milwaukee Bucks, 7 p.m. in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They do not have a winning record. So we'll see what happens with that. Otherwise, let's get moving here. Kind of a back and forth game. Gorgeous uniforms on Saturday afternoon around 4 p.m. into the evening hours and such. Gorgeous uniforms for the Miami Heat. Go ahead and get in that Miami Vice look that I talked about in the Twitter account. I just love it. I love that turquoise or teal color with kind of that hot pink, and I suppose the black goes with it too, just kind of a natural thing, the cursive look. I'm going to be honest with you. I ordered a t-shirt that simply says Miami with those colors and everything. Come on. It's the best thing probably out there right now. It's got to be. So I tweeted the Miami Heat, and you'll hear about it in fan interaction. I'll probably repeat it, that please keep this coming. Just never get rid of it, make it permanent. Just keep it coming. Keep it coming, Heat. There's no reason to ever get rid of it. Timberwolves were a bit up and down in this game. It was a back and forth battle, so to speak, but the Wolves were kind of the better team most of the way. That's the good part. They end up winning by 10 points, 125 to 115. Dante DiVincenzo, only 5 of 13. Not the best game he ever had. Again, 1 of 8 from three-point range. I'm not sure what's going on with him. Maybe you're curious looking at his season splits or so. I think the last month or two, it's been ugly for his three-point shooting and just overall, his overall game of late. Yeah. Why is this so out of whack? Okay, I guess he did have some hot games in December. This is they ruined it. It's like his whole career for December and such. Come on, guys. Yeah, I don't know why Yahoo does crap like, okay, you just change it. Easy. Okay, got it. I apologize. It was set to like his whole career, which is kind of dumb. I've seen worse. 35.3 three-point range, but yeah, his field goal percentage in December, 38.5. That's awful, and that's 14 games. It's a pretty big sample size so far in January. Overall, 42% from the floor, but 33.3, literally 1 of 3 so far. Again, could be worse, but could be a lot better too. Dante, not so great against the Miami Heat from three-point land, that's for sure. 1 of 8, was it? Yeah, that's awful. Anthony Edwards, 2 of 8. 33 total points. Yes, we appreciate that. He had some big moments, again, driving to the basket. 11 of 14 at the line, again, getting to the line. But Naz Reid, again, a huge story as well. 29 points off the bench. He was absolutely spectacular and very fun to watch, generally speaking, against the Miami Heat. Kind of all over the place, attacking the basket, hitting some corner threes. 4 of 7 to be exact, which is almost 60%. I mean, it's gorgeous stuff. Conley chipped in 5 points and 3 assists. We appreciate that for the most part. The Wolves' ball control, mediocre. 14% or 14 turnovers makes more sense. The Wolves did not have to empty the bench in this one, even though sometimes emptying the bench is a good thing because you're blowing the other team out. You're not the one getting blown out. Jaden McDaniels only attempted 4 shots in the game. What the heck? It's kind of unusual. In almost 34 minutes. So he was just like, fine, I'll just kind of defer or whatever, just play defense. And that's, I guess, kind of what happened. Kind of weird. Gobert has been absolutely wonderful of late. He was pretty good, 5 of 7. Not spectacular numbers, like 13 points, but he did play super strong defense that doesn't always show up in the box scores and such. Did chip in the 12 rebounds. Didn't even get a block in the game, though it felt like he could have had like 3 or 4. McDaniels, Jaden, that is, had 2, to be exact. And Naz Reid even chipped in a couple blocks, even some of those athletic weak side blocks that you love so much. They're more entertaining to watch. Great stuff. Fun game. Wolves win. Julius Randle with Garnett numbers 23, 10, and 4, if you know what that means. Points, rebounds, assists. Yeah. Anyhow, Anthony Edwards with the 5 assists as well. Just a fun, entertaining battle. The Wolves were generally the better team most of the way, and the uniforms are gorgeous on the Miami side. Wolves could use a facelift in the uniform department, and yeah. The Garnett era stuff is fine. Just, I wish they'd bring back the blue ones instead. I think they look better. The black has been done and 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 done. Everybody has black uniforms. Can we wear the blues? The blacks were a third jersey back in the day, too. Don't forget, the blues were the main ones. If you really, truly want to go back to the Garnett era. Always like those more. Rudy Gobert, absolutely ridiculous against the Washington Wizards. This was, Sunday, right? 141 to, Sunday at 5. 141 to 115. Wolves kind of had fun in this one for the most part. Opened up to a 10-point lead, never really relinquished it. Just kind of kept playing around, kept going all over the place. The Wizards bench and the Wolves bench were emptied in the fourth quarter. The Wizards came slightly ahead there. They were having some fun. Some of those younger guys on both sides, young guys or guys that just don't get the minutes that they would like, I'm sure. And guys with some energy, obviously, because they've been riding the pine way too long, and they deserve to play. Anthony Edwards with 35 points, basically made 2/3 of his shots. Freaking awesome. Plus 29 overall, 6 of 10 from downtown, which is also known as three-point land. Gobert, 18 points, 14 rebounds, 4 blocks. Was all over the place. Lots of fun to watch, and not even and it wasn't even 30 minutes. Jalen Clark, tons of extra minutes. Good for him. 12 points, 3 steals, which is a pretty notable thing. 3 steals, again, showing some of that D and such. Bones Highland with 5 assists. Nice to see Leonard Miller out there, 6 points, 3 rebounds, and yeah, he chipped in a steal as well. Zhu Zheng, a couple of, well, he missed all of his threes, to the 2 that he attempted, but a couple of mid-range shots. Even Joe Ingles had 8.5 minutes out there. It's cool to see him playing. Again, just got being out there and moving the ball around, like second assist type of stuff. Rob Dillingham, only 7 minutes. He had the least amount of minutes, which is strange. Like, what's up with that? I can't imagine it's helping his confidence at all. Kind of depressing, you know? Kind of depressing. Guys like Beranger and Zakarski, they would have been playing, but they're in Iowa, so it is what it is. Dillingham missed both of his shots and was a minus 11 in the time he was out there in the garbage time. Minus 11. Yikes. Because, yes, the Wizards' bench outplayed ours because they're just, I don't know, they're probably more excited and maybe trying to pretty up the score a tiny bit. Yay. It is what it is, and making it less of a super blowout, I suppose. It is what it is. I mean, everybody wants their minutes, and for crying out loud, they'd like to stay in the league as well. Some of them on both sides of the equation, Wolves and Wizards, of course. McCollum, 20 points. He wasn't involved. Yes, I believe he went to the Hawks, didn't he? Yes, because the Wizards have a new point guard. His name is Trae Young. Trae Young has gone to the Washington Wizards. It was not long after this game, I believe. Yeah, it was this game, right? That they started talking about Trae Young is interested in. They're having conversations about Trae Young would like to be traded and and they're gonna work on a trade. The Hawks and Trae Young's agents and such are gonna be working on a trade and and then it's like I wonder if the Wolves could possibly be one of the teams in conversation. It turned out we were not. He was one of the teams he wanted to. The Timberwolves are one of the teams that Trae Young actually wanted to come to. I forgot who the other one was. I don't know if it was Houston or what. It was somebody else here out in the West, I believe. But apparently both of us said no, we weren't interested. And it's like, oh, he got traded to the Wizards. Oh, he got traded to the Wizards. And other people were even talking about it like a day before, like, it's like the Wizards. That'd be perfect because he's just kind of overrated. He's not that great and you know. Might as well just go to the Wizards where he can shoot all he wants, just kind of shoot, whether the lights are on or off, you know what I mean? And that's pretty much what happened. So Trae Young is a Washington Wizard. I forget all the components. There weren't, I believe it was Kispert? But I know McCollum was involved. That guy's been traded about, he's definitely moved around a bit. Obviously started off with the Blazers, of course, and then the Pelicans, then the Wizards, and I thought he was on another team even in between. Come on, where's the information? 3 hours ago. What the heck? Yeah, I thought I had all the information. Man, I thought I did. But I do. Yeah, they're saying it was like the return was underwhelming and such. Yeah, and it kind of was. It kind of was underwhelming. I mean, McCollum's a nice player, but I don't know. He's a piece. Yeah, Kispert. It was McCollum, Kispert. Were there any draft picks involved? That's what I don't remember. But nope, there weren't. There were no draft picks. It was just McCollum and Kispert. Corey Kispert. It was like a 6-man for the Wizards. He'll be with the Hawks now, averaging about 10 points. No, 9 points, not even 10. And he's 26 already. He's just, he's okay. I don't think he's making anybody forget about Craig Eel. Well, something like that. Yeah. That's, at best, that's basically what he would be for the Hawks, is like a Craig Elo at best. I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing names out there, basically. McCollum, nice player. He's got to be getting up there, though, right? He's got to be like 30-something. I mean, that was a while back. Wasn't that like the same? Was that 2010? I think that was the. I can't remember exactly. Was it 2000? It wasn't 2009. It was 10. Man, that's a long time ago. Oh, 13. Okay, much later. And he's still 34 years old. 34? This was the draft with what's his name? Zach LaVine. Yep, remember the Zach LaVine draft, of course. And then I stupidly was like, I don't like him. Yeah, he's a good player. He's just kind of that in-betweenish, but he ended up being a nice player, that combo guard type of guy. But basically a short shooting guard. He's averaged about 20 points throughout his career and was averaging about 19 with the Wizards. Pretty consistent. 40% from downtown, very consistent, like 39 basically his whole career, so 39 to 40. Good player, but again, he's not gonna, you know, yeah, he's not Dominique Wilkins, put it that way. He's not the second coming of Dominique Wilkins. Neither was Trae Young, though. Even though those uniforms are pretty cool, they take you back to a better time in the NBA as far as I'm concerned. All right, enough of that. The Wolves roll past the Washington Wizards, and we can roll on past that game. Miami Heat last night, well, 122 to 94. Is that all you need to know? Yeah, that was not last night. This was Tuesday. Last night was Cleveland. I apologize. The Wolves just kind of rolled past the the Miami Heat in Minnesota, wearing the Garnett era uniforms, of course. But it wasn't the early Garnett era. It was kind of like the mid Garnett era when we got the black uniforms. Fairly mid-ish, I guess you could say. Triple double for Julius. Only 15 points, but 11. No, it's not a triple double. Looking at this totally wrong. 11 rebounds, 5 assists. But okay, my apologies. Gobert was absolutely ridiculous defensively, making the Miami Heat frustrated and all of that. 13 points, 16 rebounds, a couple of blocks, but again, just generally smothering defense. It's not even about blocks. Blocks are nice and everything, but it's more of a stat than actual defense. You could get like 4 blocks a game and have the worst defense ever, because you're just swinging at the ball and guys are rolling right past you. But you blocked that one, you got a piece. There's that. So that's where guys used to say block shots can be overrated. Yeah, they can, but I still think it's nice to have, though. It's nice to know you are blocking shots, because that's a guaranteed miss then for whoever it is, and potentially regaining possession of the ball. So it's overrated and underrated at the same time. Bellinger did have 6 points. Maybe he was here the whole time. But I get confused sometimes as to who's here and who's not. But Bellinger did have 6 points in the garbage time, 4 minutes, 40 seconds. Dillingham, again, 4 minutes, 4 seconds, and missed everything. But he did have 3 assists. He missed all 3 of his shots. Leonard Miller made all 3 of his. Mostly just kind of close range stuff. Yeah. I'm depressed with the whole Rob Dillingham deal. The good news is he's extremely young. What is he, 21 still? So he's still got a lot of time to go. There's a number of players that were his age that took a couple years. The first couple years were just like, what the hell? 2 points, 4 points, 6 points, 7 points, something like that. And then the third or fourth year, it's like, okay. Yep, starting to become a valuable piece. And then the fourth year, it's like, okay, yeah, now he's looking like a pretty nice player. So hopefully that is in Rob Dillingham's future. But right now, yeah, it's pretty sparse and kind of scary when you consider we took him 8th overall, we being the Timberwolves anyway. So, yeah. Anthony Edwards, 8 of 18, 26 points in Le Game All. Jaden McDaniels attempted 15 shots, made 19 points. Good for him. 1 of 4 from downtown. Anthony Edwards, 5 of 8 from downtown. Definitely been picking up the field goal percentages, Anthony Edwards, and good for him. And knock on wood about that, because don't want to get too excited or whatever. Let's look at the totals quick, because I do believe, yes, he did reach his 10,000th point at the end of the game, or not the end of the game, but his second last basket yesterday. Anthony Edwards receiving a big ovation. I believe he's like the only third fastest guy ever to reach 10,000 points between Durant and LeBron James. You'd think Michael would have got it, but I suppose those guys started earlier than Michael, because Michael was a junior so it's like age-wise. Yeah, age, not necessarily points, but like youngest, third youngest player ever basically to get to 10,000 points. So behind Kevin Durant and LeBron James. It's a pretty good company. People that trash LeBron and Kevin Durant and everything for the whole super team stuff. Yeah, it's annoying, and I don't like it either. But I wasn't going to be like, stop it. No, it's annoying. I agree. But still great players. Still great players. No, I do not deify them. No, I don't. But 10,000 points, third quickest in age-wise was then Michael. We all know who Michael is. He's just first-name basis here in the NBA world. Michael Jordan, by the way, North Carolina. He was a junior when he left college. Anthony Edwards was a freshman. So that's a part of it. LeBron James, let's see. Let's see, he was 18, right? Yeah. LeBron James did not go to college, didn't have to. And he's a billionaire. Proof that you can be a billionaire without even going to college. Not that I like everything LeBron James does and when he stands for and says and stuff. No, I don't. I don't really. I don't. Kevin Durant, yes. What was he? Just a freshman. So it is what it is. Great job, guys. Great job, Anthony Edwards, and lemon and tomato juice to you. And yeah, and again, being from Georgia, I think they have a little bit of lemon and tomato juice action going on at times. So gotta love that. Against the Heat, no, this was against the Cavaliers most recently, not the Heat. I apologize. This was just last night. Anthony Edwards reaches 10,000 point. I kind of jumped ahead. Oh, I apologize. I jumped ahead. Yeah, I did. Andrew Wiggins has had his ups and downs in Miami. Only 10 points, 3 of 10. Kind of that crappy era in his career, like his last 2 years here, basically in Minnesota. Andrew Wiggins was pretty lousy. Like he'd have games like this all the time: 10 points, 4 rebounds, or whatever. Like well below 50%. It's like and just looking soft as soft could be. But generally speaking, Andrew Wiggins has been pretty good with the Heat. Almost 16 points, 5 rebounds. He's fine. 3 assists. Last year even better at times. He's been good. He's definitely not the superstar he was supposed to be, though, coming out of the draft. Andrew Wiggins was supposed to be a superstar, and that just didn't happen, unfortunately. His first 2 years, it looked like he was on his way, and then he just wasn't. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna see a different guy in a couple of years here," and then we did see a different guy, weaker, not better, worse. It was so disappointing. It was sad. Because I like Andrew Wiggins. Dang it, I'm not rooting against him at all. By the way, 122-94, the Wolves roll past the Miami Heat. Just an absolute demolition derby. Very un-Miami Heat-like performance. And that's a compliment to Spoelstra, Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, people like that. That is a very un-Miami Heat-type performance. So I don't know. Obviously, you can only give players so much of a tongue lashing. You can do it sometimes, but obviously the more you do it, the more blowouts you're going to get if you do it way too much. Spoelstra, I don't think they're tuning him out over there. No, I think he's just fine. It's just an awful performance by the team. It is what it is. Cleveland Cavaliers have been fairly disappointing after a great season last year, and a disappointing postseason too, by the way, which I suppose is not all that uncommon in Cleveland. And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. It's just the way it is. The Wolves have had their ups and downs. And Minnesota teams, we don't even need to get started about Minnesota teams having disappointments in the postseason. Wolves have not been that disappointing until they got to the West Finals. Then it's like they just die. It's like we're doing just great. It's kind of like Wile E. Coyote. It's like, all right, there's the path to the NBA Finals. Wah, 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 wah. You know what I mean? That's what it's like. Sorry for the very loud clapping sound. I hope that wasn't too irritating. Donovan Mitchell was Harlem Globetrotter-like, up and down the court, and nice, beautiful alley-oops. 8 assists for him. It was kind of a Globetrotter-like performance. It was a fun game to watch. Cleveland Cavaliers, 31 assists. Not bad. It was fun. Darius Garland, future Wolves point guard, I hope, without giving up the farm anyway. Yes, I would rather have Darius Garland than Trae Young. You just hope the son of a gun can stay healthy. Kind of like a certain Vikings quarterback. Stay healthy, please. Because he could be Darius Garland-like, so to speak. He could be a good quarterback in the NFL. Maybe not the best, but good. Well above average, and maybe good enough to take us to where we would like to be, which is the one final step the Vikings never made. Yep, that one final step. Holding the trophy, that's the only step with the Vikings that they need to do. Of course, none of us saw them in the Super Bowl. Maybe some of you if you're old enough, but you got to be pushing... You got to be in your mid-50s, I think, to really remember a Super Bowl in Minnesota. Or, I suppose, early 50s. Yeah, if you remember a Super Bowl, yeah. No, you got to be over 50, yes. It was 76 season, so mid-50s, yes, sorry. And that was the last one. That was the crappiest one, too. Donovan Mitchell, 30 points, 8 assists, and again, Globetrotter-like out there. Jarrett Allen, not the former Viking defensive end, but 10 rebounds for him, no blocks. Good performance, generally speaking. Kind of fun to watch. Yes, a fun to watch game. Merrill off the bench, 22 points. Hunter, 14, and got in a kind of a tangle, literally a tangle with Mr. Gobert. Both of them were teed up. Kind of annoying. I could tell a lot of people were annoyed with it. It felt like more like Hunter was more involved, but you know how Gobert gets under people's skin because he's all over the place. And it felt like it was kind of intentional the way he kind of like as he was walking by with his arms up, like to get away from the fight, so to speak, that he, oops, oh, he accidentally, like planted his bicep into DeAndre Hunter's like head or whatever. Yeah, okay, that was cute, Rudy. And that's when things got more escalated. The more shoving started happening from Hunter, and both players were teed up. So I suppose they both kind of deserved it. Hunter for sure did. They deserved it. Yeah, it is what it is. With that said, Gobert 11 and 13, another great performance. Again, he's looking like a defensive player of the year again, which has been talked about all over the place, and it's well deserved. Jaden McDaniels 26 points, 11 of 14, great game. 3 of 4 from downtown. Donnie DiVincenzo 6 of 10, which again that brought that nasty 3-point percentage up. Yeah, that's partially why his threes were up to like what was he like up to like 33%, basically like 1 out of 3 basically is what he was doing for the month of January, which isn't that big of a sample size. But yeah, when you're 6 of 10, that'll bring it up. Yeah, it was way down in the 20s, like low 20s before that. So great job for Dante. Yeah, nice game. Anthony Edwards, 25 points, made half of his shots, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. Awesome night for him. And a game that he had to be good. Randall made about half of his shots, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. Even better than Garnett numbers because higher assists and higher points. Yeah, awesome. No blocks, unfortunately, but the starters played wonderful in this game. Nasri, 9 points off the bench. Great. Looks like a great 6-man. 6 rebounds, too. But a little bit sloppy. 4 turnovers. Anthony Edwards and Randall with 4 turnovers. It is what it is. They're moving the ball around like crazy. 17 assists when you combine those two guys. And it was a fun basketball game, though. It really was. How many assists did the Wolves have? 33. Yeah, so like up and down, moving the ball around. Fun stuff. This is a fun basketball game. Really happy the Wolves were able to emerge victorious. The Wolves got off to a pretty nice lead. What was it, like 17-8 or something like that? Even, yeah, it was crazy. And then Cleveland just kind of went nuts and took the lead not long after that. A bit of a back and forth game, but the Wolves end up getting the victory down the stretch, kind of rallying a bit after falling behind, which was like, man, what's happening here? But overall, very, very fun basketball game. Definitely the highlight of the week. You could call this the feature presentation because it absolutely was. Fun basketball game. I said that about 16 times because it really was. And then Anthony Edwards' second last basket in this game was his 10,000th point in the NBA. Congratulations, Anthony Edwards. Congratulations, Anthony Edwards. 10,000 points in the NBA. Again, like we said, the third youngest player ever to get to 10,000 with LeBron and KD. I think Durant might have been even earlier. I don't know. Because Durant was kind of like plug and play. But so was LeBron. But he was 18. He wasn't averaging like 20 points a game, 25 points right away, where Durant kind of was, because he had that extra year. I don't know. Maybe it was LeBron. I can't remember who was the fastest. I don't want to be wrong here. I apologize. I might be making a total fool of myself. To reach. Yeah, there it is. It's probably going to be LeBron, actually. That's why I'm being careful here. Yep, that was LeBron. Yep, it was LeBron. 23 days, 59 days old. And I believe Anthony Edwards, who became the third youngest in January 2026. Yep, Kevin Durant was second. Sorry, yes, it was LeBron. I'm like thinking it has to be LeBron because he started earlier than at a younger age. It had to be. And it was, because Kevin Durant's whole freshman year in college were 0 points in the NBA. You do realize that, right? Yes. Kobe, Luka, and Carmelo. Yep. Guys you can all say with one name, because how many Kobes do you think about? You don't think about Kobe White, you think of Kobe Bryant. You think of Luka Doncic and Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, so those are the other guys in the group. But Anthony Edwards, third youngest. Good job. All right, you get the point. With that said, the award is going to go to the Lone Wolf Award. It's going to go to Rudy Gobert. Great week, great defense. He's been really something, and those statements he made about guys not giving a bleep basically might have woke somebody up a little bit, and good job. I hope the audio wasn't real crappy earlier. It might have been too far from the mic, so my apologies. The James Shepard Memorial. Did I say James Shepard? Johnny Flynn Memorial. Wrong show. Johnny Flynn Memorial for this is I don't know whether it's Rob Dillingham or Mr. Finch, but whatever is going on with Rob Dillingham, that's the James Shepard again, the Johnny Flynn Memorial. He's looking more like Johnny Flynn than what we were hoping for with that 8th overall pick. So very sad, disappointing at the moment with Dillingham completely falling out of the rotation again, which is annoying. Odds are he's going to be back in it, but it's bugging me. It's eating at me, and you just know there's more there. Other people are like, he's not even an NBA player. It's like, I think he is. I think he is. But maybe not great, not a very special one at the moment, that's for sure. So with that, we'll take a quick break and preview the upcoming games. Are you looking for a really nice Timberwolves-related Facebook page out there with cool fans and a wonderful host? Well, look no further than Wolfpack from Flip to Finch, hosted by Scott Doherty. He does a great job. Scott Doherty's an awesome guy, and the fan base on there, obviously passionate about the Wolves, but also respectful of other people's opinions regarding the team. Check out the page. It's awesome. Wolfpack from Flip to Finch. And we are back here on Timberwolves Explosion segment number 2, Cleveland, San Antonio, Milwaukee. Get to play the Cleveland Cavaliers again. Hope it's another fun one. This will be in Cleveland, Ohio. Sometimes a tough place to play for the Wolves. Donovan Mitchell's averaging almost 30 points a game. Anthony Edwards is averaging a little over 29. And yes, the 10,000 thing. Yeah, I don't need to keep repeating it. This is a nooner. Terrence Shannon Jr. apparently, what did he have, the boot? He's been out since Christmas, literally Christmas. And, but apparently he's out of the boot and he's going to be reevaluated upcoming here. So pretty soon, obviously it's a foot injury. Zion pull-on wrist. This is the injury report, of course. And Rocco Zakarski, undisclosed day-to-day. So Zakarski, sorry about that. Rocco Zakarski, sorry about that, mate. Cleveland Cavaliers injury report. Ooh, busy. Malik. Nope, let's go back to the farthest back here. Max Struss, injured reserve foot since August. Ouch. Dean Wade, day-to-day knee, Jan 6. Justin Powell, day-to-day concussion, Jan 9. Chris Livingston, injured reserve knee, Jan 9. Brandon Goodwin, day-to-day foot, Jan 9. Malik Newman, out undisclosed, Jan 9. All right, then. So, yeah. The Timberwolves' chance to sweep the season series, because this is it right here. You just played them, we're playing them again. Cleveland Cavaliers had recently beaten the Pacers, who have a putrid record because their star player, what did he have, an Achilles? So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's heartbroken. In the NBA Finals, and the Pacers actually had a real shot at winning that thing. They had a chance. They probably wouldn't. I mean, odds are they weren't going to win, but they competed in that NBA Finals. They deserve a ton of credit, and it's really sad to see them having an awful season, but maybe they'll do the Spurs thing, where you have the awful year, get the number 1 pick in the draft, and now we're really armed and ready. But unfortunately, Robinson wasn't quite the same player ever again, because he's just getting older and older, and the foot injuries are not a good thing. But and Achilles injuries aren't a good thing either for Mr. Halliburton, so that sucks. God, that sucks. I hated that. I was like, no. When I saw him just going down, forward like that, it's like, no, God, no. Yeah, that was awful. It's like, no, I want the Thunder to win. Comparisons. Points, scoring, the Wolves are 4th, the Cavs are 7th. Field goal percentage, Wolves are 6th, Cavs are 18th. 3-point percentage, Wolves are 9th, the Cavs are 19th. 3 points made, Wolves are 12th, Cavs are 5th. Interesting. So, yeah, they shoot too much, basically, if you put that together. Defensively, the Wolves are 13th in rebounds, Cavs are 10th. Turnovers, Wolves are 9th, Cavs are 11th. Block shots, the Wolves are 8th. The Cavs are 9. Very comparable teams here. Assist to turnover ratio, the Wolves are 10th. The Cavs are 7th. So kind of close in some of these statistics, particularly on the defensive column. This will be a fun game. I think the Wolves can emerge victorious again. Of course, the Cavs do have guys hurt, but not necessarily the crucial ones. So this should be fun. It should be a fun back and forth game. Maybe it goes to OT or something. It's going to be a chilly Saturday afternoon. Definitely chillier than it's been the last few days here in the Twin Cities. But I welcome a little cooler weather to dry things up a bit, as long as the ice isn't built up too much. That's what we really don't want. The final score for this one is going to be something along the likes of, you can imagine a fairly fun game. Something like it's going to be lower scoring than the last one, I think. 118. I think the Wolves win it 118-115. Very close game. And if it goes to OT, it'll be probably closer to like 128 to 125. But like Wolves win by 3, basically, over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Next, please. Yeah, I didn't even look at some of the players. I apologize. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell about 30 points. Evan Mobley 18 and 9. 4 assists. Garland 7 assists. 17 and a half points. So yeah, I'm not going to go on and on too long with that because it was in the last episode. Spurs will probably get a little bit bigger preview here. Definitely a scary team here. Number 2 team in the West. They're back to being the Spurs again, I guess, without Popovich. 26 and 11, but again, only a game and a half ahead of the Timberwolves. So how about that? This could be very interesting. Spurs have been a pain in the butt to play against before they started winning games like regularly. They were already becoming a difficult team for the Wolves. So I don't know. I'm not all super confident going into this one, even though some important players are hurt and it tends to happen way too much. It is also a back-to-back. So depending on how long this Cleveland thing goes, it's a little scary to have to play this club. Injury report for the Spurs. Well, Devin Vassell, really big fan of him. 3-and-D guy, injured reserve thigh. Would love him on the Wolves anytime at the beginning of his career or whenever. Riley Minix, day-to-day undisclosed, Jan 9. Vassell was on New Year's Day. Harrison Ingram, injured reserve illness. Okay, Jan 9. Adam Flagler, day-to-day undisclosed, Jan 9. Next, please, the matchup between these clubs. Wolves did beat the Spurs 125-112. I do believe they were short-staffed in that one with injuries to a certain tall guy named Wemby and all of that. Yes, Wemby, that guy. When he's at his best, he's pretty darn good. This is weird. Yeah, Victor Wembanyama, 23 games so far this year. Again, that's the one thing about him. He's kind of oft-injured, and that's what sometimes happens to some of these super tall, talented guys. Ralph Sampson was hurt way too much, and before you know it, he was just an average player. But in his early days, the Houston Rockets were a huge threat with, Ralph Sampson and this guy named Hakeem Olajuwon. They were pretty tough. I went to the NBA Finals only to get slaughtered by the 86 Celtics, who were the best team on the planet that year, no doubt. Wemby is averaging about 24 points, like a little over, 3 assists, 11 and a half rebounds, and they are a thorn in the side for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So it makes you kind of like them a little bit, because if you're already sick of the Thunder like me, let's go Spurs, I guess. Whereas back in the day, it was kind of like, I didn't like either team. I didn't anyways. A lot of you like the Thunder, the Westbrook Thunder, yeah, Westbrook and Durant and all them, and James Harden. They were kind of annoying, and the Spurs were annoying too because they didn't want, they did one before and you're kind of tired of them. So it was a great series though, really good series. Fox is averaging 21 points, 6 assists. I'd take him in a second. I would take Castle too, about 18 points and 7 assists. If we could have one of those two guys, please, if the Timberwolves could have one of those two guys. I mean, what a luxury do they have there. And even Dylan Harper's a nice backup point guard. About 4 assists. So I like Dylan Harper too. Good player. 21 minutes a game, 4 assists. Get this out of here. And 11 points. Definitely a spark plug kind of guy. Maybe could use a little bit of, extra minutes, I suppose. But we'll see how that goes. Kelly Olynyk, he's still alive. 4 points, averaging about 10 minutes a game, and has played about half of the game. So, yeah, it is what it is. Quickly, comparisons here. And the Spurs have won 4. No, the Wolves have won 4 in a row. The Spurs beat the Lakers recently, though. Nice one. Lost to Memphis by a point and lost to Portland. What the heck? Weird. Great game versus the Knicks on New Year's Eve, though. 134-132. They barely beat them, but they did beat them. Spurs are 8th in points, 9th in field goal percentage, 20th in three-point percentage. Interesting. 21st in threes made. Defensively, rebounds they're second. Wow. Turnovers they're 6th. Block shots are 18th. That's weird because Wemby's averaging about 3 a game, but he's the only guy. And interesting. 17th in assist to turnover ratio. Interesting numbers. Interesting. Very. This will be an absolutely epic battle between these clubs. I think this is the middle game, and then the final game in this series will be Jan 17th, not that far from now. This is in Target Center. Wemby's not hurt, so yeah, it's going to be a tough one. If I'm a betting man, which I can be sometimes, I'm probably picking the Spurs, at least for now. I don't want to pick the Spurs, I really don't, but it just, if you have to, like, gun to your head type of a prediction, I'm going to pick the Spurs for now, and I hope I'm wrong. Put it that way. I'll pick the Spurs in a battle, back and forth type of thing. I think especially as the back-to-back thing is not going to help at all. I don't think that helps. So I think ultimately the Spurs win the basketball game, unfortunately, with a final score of something like 121 to 112. The Wolves will kind of, I just think the Spurs kind of take the lead at some point in the fourth quarter and never relinquish it. It'll be something like that, unfortunately. So not feeling too hot about that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a golden opportunity for the Wolves, though, to possibly, overtake the Spurs or get really close. So close, that it's like a half game or less, and a half game or a tie or something, and you have a shot at it. But we'll see. Milwaukee Bucks, boy, the Wolves had a pretty nasty loss to them last year, and they played with their food way too much, and just recently, December 21st, not a very good Bucks team. The Wolves won by only 3 points at home. Last year, the Wolves got beat soundly by a bunch of, okay players. Like the star players were all out from Milwaukee. It was just like backups and okay starters, like fourth or fifth best players on the team as your stars, so to speak, for the Bucks. And the Wolves got beat soundly in Milwaukee. It was really annoying last year. We'll see what happens. This one will be in Milwaukee. The Bucks recently lost to the Warriors 120 to 113 after the Bucks took care of business versus Charlotte and Sacramento recently. So good for the Bucks, I guess. Hornets heartbroken in a couple of close games. This Bucks game again, they lost by a point, and also a game-winning buzzer beater versus the Toronto Raptors as well. So I believe it was in Charlotte, but yeah, it was a buzzer beater. The Hornets would have won, but the shot went in. So disappointing, I'm sure, for the Hornets and their fan base. The Bucks injury report. Torian Prince, former Timberwolf, of course, injured reserve neck, November 7th. Liam Robbins dated a calf, Jan 9. DeAndre Bembry out knee, Jan 9. It's been a back and forth thing. Let's come back to these guys in a second. Comparisons: the Bucks are 25th in scoring, 4th in field goal percentage somehow. Terrible free throw shooting team. They're 30th. I'll bring that up. The Wolves are 28th too, so not anything special over here either. 3-point percentage, they're 2nd. That's crazy. 3-pointers made 6th. Rebounds, they're 29th. 29th. So get those hustle points, Wolves. You can beat these guys. Turnovers, they're 15th, right in the middle. Block shots, only 27th. Wow. And assist to turnover ratio, above average, 12th. So the Bucks are 16 and 21. Definitely on the outside looking in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. As for the actual team, Ryan Rollins is one of their leading scorers right now. He's technically like a leading scorer because he's actually played enough games to be the leading scorer at 17.2. Otherwise, you still have Giannis, almost 30 points a game. He's played 23 games, so a little more than half. 5.5 assists, 10 rebounds. When he's out there, he's absolutely spectacular, but he's hurt a lot, unfortunately. Has been in trade conversations. Well, there have been trade conversations, generally speaking. I don't know if he's going to get traded. Chances are he will. Talks of like Houston, maybe the Timberwolves. Yes, that team. Who knows? The freaking Warriors. Who knows? But wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors made a splash, and it would be annoying. They did it last year. I don't know. Miles Turner. Yep. I mean, I'm sure Sure, the Pacers missed him a lot. That's one of the reasons they're so lousy this year. 12 points, 5 rebounds. That's not good rebounding, but the block shots, 1.5. I remember him being a much better player. I don't know what's going on with Turner. He was better than this. Seems like he's kind of fallen off the face of the earth. Cole Anthony was a better player, too. He's averaging only 15 minutes, 7 points. Kevin Porter Jr., 18.5. Almost 8 assists. Wow. And 5 rebounds. Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah, but I keep getting him mixed up with the other guy, Michael Porter. Kevin Porter. And yes, there is a Kevin Porter in the NBA. I remember somebody was making fun of me a while back. It's somebody in the NFL for the Saints, I believe. I don't even know if he's still in the NFL anymore. But yes, there was a Kevin Porter in the NBA. It was and is. He's a decent player. 18.5 points, but he's missed a ton of time. Unfortunately, only 18 games so far for the Bucks. Gary Trent Jr., local angle, about 26 minutes, 9 points. Three-point percentage isn't what it used to be, 36. I remember him being like in the 40s, so I'm not sure what's going on there. AJ Green is in the 40s at 43%. He's definitely the sharpshooter there, as is Bobby Portis, 47%. Ryan Rollins, 42%, so they can definitely shoot the three there in Milwaukee. Wolves win. I think the Wolves go 2-1. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, that type of thing. But don't play with your food. This has been a funky matchup for the Wolves, but I'd like to believe, stepping out in faith, that the Wolves can sweep this season's series, despite the fact it's been kind of a funky one. And the fact that they've been thrown in the side for the Wolves recently last year. So, but really this year too, Wolves only beat them by 3 right before Christmas there on December 21st. It wasn't that long ago we talked about that one. It's like, what are you guys doing? But at least they won, and it might be a similar thing. Wolves win, final score 105 to 100. Wolves win by 5 points over the Bucks in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Go Pack, go. Not. Packs will probably be out at that point. I'm guessing the Bears advance to the divisional round, and they are the number 2 seed, so they should be hosting their division round game, regardless of who it is, the Eagles, the Bears, or the Bears, or the Niners, or whoever, the Eagles or the Niners or somebody like that. But we'll see what happens with the Chicago Bears. Fall down. No. Yeah, I think I'd be recording Purple Mafia that morning. So it's going to be funky doing that, having to record on Tuesday morning instead of Sunday, but that's how that goes. But Wolves go 2-1 in this week. We'll take a quick break and return for some fan interaction. And we are back here on Timberwolves Explosion, final segment, fan interaction segment, if we can call it that. There will be a couple at TWolvesEX, at TWolvesEX. I don't believe there's any comments on Instagram or Facebook, facebook.com/Timberwolves Explosion. And on Instagram, it is Timberwolves Explosion, I believe. It's Timberwolves_Explosion. I always forget, and I apologize. Always forget. I don't know why. Just get kind of... Yes, Timberwolves_Explosion for Instagram. I should check. And I should be more active on there. Yeah, it's like just stuff sitting there. What the heck's up with that? So, I do always post that the show's out in the stories for Instagram, but I should probably update the show on there as well to be a little better. Just to make it look better, I guess. I don't know. I apologize for that. So, and there's probably better ways of going about things. But with all that said, yeah, let's get to the Twitter, the X, or whatever it's called. I can never see it. Thank you, Vince Germano, for retweeting the most recent episode. So, really appreciate that. Yes, also Levi and Tane out of New Zealand retweeting the most recent episode. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. T-Wolves Nation France was also saying that if you want to feel old, Nikola Pekovic turns 40. Wow. That was on Jan the 3rd. Isn't that weird? Then he was out of the league for a decade. It's only 30. Vince Germano was saying... What was I saying? Oh, yeah, this is a response to the Christmas time thing. Vince was saying, get Kobe White or DeJounte Murray. I was saying Murray by a mile, as long as he stays healthy anyway. I do believe there's a response. Yep, from Hopeless Wolves fan. He says, no thanks to both. Hopeless Wolves fan is local, Twin Cities here. No thanks to both. They solve nothing other than some scoring and shooting. They need defense and control. Think Bucks, Drew Holiday, our archetype. That's my opinion if they get a guard. I get that, yeah. Like an actual real like leader, an actual like quarterback, an actual leader. I like that. And I understand totally where Murray might be just kind of like a spark plug more than anything, and of course injury prone. And Kobe, I'm not a huge fan of his. I don't know what it is. Something about Kobe White just doesn't do it for me. And it's kind of like, if he's one of the leading scorers on a team that can't win, really, basically, I don't know. It's just kind of like one of those kind of guys. I mean, maybe in the right structure, Kobe White could be pretty darn good, and obviously Murray. Before the injury, I was a gigantic fan of his. I think he can definitely play in this league. But yes, I totally understand the whole Drew Holiday thing. I wish he was younger, and I wish the Wolves could get him. It would be so nice. Tanae Brown wrapping things up, saying, coming out of New Zealand, by the way, something's going right at the moment, but I don't think it's the recipe for a title. Yes, let's see how we go after the trade deadline. I doubt Tim Connolly is happy with the current team. I agree with that. I'm personally not happy with the current team either. It's like, yes, it might be kind of like a little, I don't know, like you know how it's like a game of runs. It's a season of runs also. The Wolves have definitely been streaky, wins, losses, that kind of thing. Like you look like dog dookie against the Nets and the Hawks. You're just awful games. The game against Denver you absolutely had and you let it go. I mean, it's just, come on, guys. And then you annihilate, Miami. You beat Miami once, you annihilate them the next time, annihilate the Wizards, and then have a back and forth battle where you come out ahead against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You get the longer straw against the Cavaliers. That was a fun game, very fun, entertaining basketball game. But yes, I don't think it is a recipe for a title either. Maybe a second round playoff exit kind of type of thing. That's kind of like what it looks like they are right now. Like maybe like right about the top four type of team that in this case does not get to the West Finals. Maybe a matchup with a tougher team like the Spurs or the Nuggets that you just can't beat when it matters most. That's kind of a fear where you want to get that, that significant move that's going to hopefully come. I think the Wolves and the Minnesota Wild are going to be doing something pretty significant here. The Wild already did something super significant, and it's made them one of the best teams in the league, the Wild, getting Quinn Hughes. But there's definite talk that, clearly with the way the Wild are set up, that, they're just like, it's literally like one move away from possibly a Stanley Cup contender. And I think the Wolves, it's kind of similar in a way, like the Wild need a center, basically, which is kind of like the leader of the offense, kind of in a lot of ways. And the Wolves need a, like the equivalent of that. We could use a lead guard, be it a tough guy like a Drew Holiday who can definitely lead an offense. Offensively, defensively, big time. Or, obviously, again, like just an absolute playmaker, a younger playmaker type like a Darius Garland. Hopeless Wolves fan, if you are a listener, would you be happy with Darius Garland, or was that a no thanks to him as well? That's kind of who I'd be targeting, if possible. I keep mentioning his name, and I keep seeing him as a guy that could be, legitimately available, and that's who I'd like the Wolves to go after, quite honestly. I could totally understand you saying no thanks to Trae Young also, and I think a lot of people would say that. Unfortunately, that's why he's a Washington Wizard today. Oof, I wouldn't want to be traded to the Washington Wizards. I'd rather stay in Atlanta, but unless things have soured so much there, it's like, okay, it's time to go. So who knows? Maybe even a team like the Wizards could finally get better one of these days. We're talking many years though for that franchise. With that said, thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Please put a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast if you could. Spotify, if you're not an Apple person, but you can get Spotify, please do put a 5-star rating. Share the show with your friends, retweet, and all of that. Word of mouth works as well, and it's greatly, greatly appreciated to get this show out there. And I know there's tons of other podcasts out there in this world. It's kind of like trying to survive among all the weeds, even if you were there way before the other shows. Some of them just kind of might have had more backing, like more people already knew the person, that type of thing. So there's that. It is what it is. With that said, thank you so much for listening, and we shall return in a week. Hopefully the Wolves can go 3-0.